Hello and welcome to I've Seen Everything, where the name is ironic and the reactions are... wow. Hi, my name is Andrew and I'm glad to have you here with me today. Today, folks, we are taking a step into another beloved franchise, and it's one that I have a little bit of an unusual history with. I was right at the right age that I should have been deeply into Star Wars as a kid, had all the toys, been into all the movies, all that kind of stuff. For whatever reason, I wasn't. I just didn't have it around and I wasn't exposed to it at a young age. I don't know if I had been, if I would have gotten into it. There are lots of other classic franchises from the 80s and 90s that I love, but Star Wars was always one that eluded me. Now, I'm not here to tell you in this video, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, that this is the first time I've ever watched Star Wars. It's not. I have seen Star Wars before. I've seen the original 3 Star Wars movies exactly 2 times in my life. The first time was back when Star Wars Episode 1 came out. Some of my friends wanted to go see it. I was working at a video store at the time, and I thought, well, I should at least know what all this Star Wars stuff is about. I watched the original 3 movies. I remember enjoying them, but I kind of never went back to it again after that, and I went to see Episode 1 in the theater. I didn't watch the original Star Wars movies again until a number of years later, around the time that The Force Awakens was coming out. Similar to me with Episode 1, my daughter had some people who wanted to go see Force Awakens. She didn't know anything about Star Wars, and she asked me if I would watch the Star Wars movies with her. So I sat down and watched through them again. And again, I remember feeling like that was fun, it was enjoyable, but I don't really feel like I've ever given them a good, honest try. I sat there and watched them like, let me really pay attention. And now it's been nearly a decade since The Force Awakens came out, and I haven't watched any Star Wars stuff in all that time, which has been odd considering that just so happens to be the time period where there's been other movies that have come out. There's been a lot of Disney Plus shows that have come out that people really love. And so I feel like it's time for me to finally give Star Wars a good, honest try. And so for the first time in about a decade, I'm here watching Star Wars again, this time with you. I wouldn't say this is exactly like watching for the first time, but it pretty much is. It's going to be rediscovering a lot of stuff that I've forgotten. I feel like that might be relatively entertaining. Let's find out. So without wasting any more time before starting this reaction, if you would, please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons down there. Click the bell so you can see when I put out new videos. And here we go with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. It's strange to think of Star Wars, something like Star Wars, as just your average 20th Century Fox movie. Is there a franchise more beloved than Star Wars? I'm sure there are. I did Lord of the Rings, that's pretty beloved. Okay, I think I knew some of that. Okay. Right off the bat, where we talk about what maybe set Star Wars apart, if you go back and look at what other sci-fi looked like during those time periods, this was quite a step up as far as just how clean it looked and the quality and everything, and the scale of it.
They shut down the main reactor. They'll be destroyed for sure.
C-3PO and R2-D2 on screen for the first time anywhere, ever. I don't know if those helmets are terribly practical. I feel like, if I'm remembering, I don't know, but yeah, I think maybe Vader? Stormtroopers, so not Vader. C-3PO and R2-D2 just trying to stay out of stuff. I don't know if I would have just run across, like, open fire like that. There we go. First time on screen ever. One of the most well-known villains ever in film.
R2-D2, where are you?
He's talking to Princess Leia, I think. There we go. So young, Carrie Fisher. This might be a stupid question, but was this what made Carrie Fisher's career?
What have you done with those plans?
Wow.
We're on a diplomatic mission.
That is... They make Vader so imposing right from the beginning.
I want them alive.
Such an iconic voice.
There's one set for stun.
I don't think she's setting to stun.
For Lord Vader, we have a prisoner.
I heard something I thought about stormtroopers being clones. Is that right?
What are you talking about? I'm not getting in bed.
How a blaster shot can change your attitude, C-3PO. Whenever I see that, I don't have a history with Star Wars, but I've seen Spaceballs a bunch of times. So I see the thing launch like that. That looks like when they're doing the escape pods on Spaceballs.
Are you sure this thing is safe?
I don't know if you've ever seen a robot or an android that has like human worry. It's usually supposed to be so robotic and unconcerned about things like that.
The Imperial Senate will not sit still for this.
Several transmissions were beamed to the ship by rebel spies.
I don't know if you can reason with Darth Vader if he just choked a man to death in the middle of a hallway.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take it away!
An escape pod was jettisoned during the fighting. No life forms were aboard.
You must have hidden the plans in the escape pod.
That's smart. Well, I mean, they're going after it anyway, but it's smart. The no life signs. I just feel so uneducated on all this stuff. I know there are fans who know every bit of this. They know every ship, they know every droid, they know all of this stuff.
We seem to be made to suffer. It's our lot in life.
Jesus. C-3PO needs some therapy. And I know that's a guy in that suit. Man, in the desert being in that suit, imagine that. And in R2-D2's suit.
Where do you think you're going? Well, I'm not going that way.
Don't get technical with me.
To be carrying a comedic duo where you're the only one actually speaking English. You're speaking against a rolling trash can that's beeping at you, basically. How much different this must have been as just a general sci-fi movie as compared to its predecessors. This was far more vast, and the effects used for the time period. Glowing eyes. Hooded figures with glowing eyes. I feel like I ought to remember the name of these characters, but I don't. I can't place it right now. Yeah, I was gonna say, watch out, R2-D2. I don't think they mean to help you. That doesn't look great. I feel bad for R2-D2, but the way he fell over was just funny. Wow, there's a whole bunch of them. Little robed figures, or little robed creatures with glowing red eyes. Well, I think they're red. I'm colorblind. I can't really tell sometimes. Now that's an interesting ship, or like it's not a ship in that it could fly away. It doesn't look like, but okay. So I don't. Oop. Well, it must be quite a bit of suction there. I don't know exactly what it is they want with him. I don't remember that. Okay, so he's not fried completely. Okay, so they've taken a decent number of other droids. That one literally looks like a trash can with legs. Yeah, I don't remember any of this. Oh, they got C-3PO too?
R2?
Okay, well, at least they're reunited.
R2-D2, it is you! It is you!
Probably good, because I don't think any of these other droids speak English, so we're not going to really have a clue what's going on. This is one of these things, like this animal the stormtroopers are riding. I can imagine this wasn't what was in the original cut of the movie. What animal was originally being ridden in the movie, if you could tell me in the comments. Did they build this? They build like a life-size vehicle like that? Or was it like a model or something?
Don't shoot, don't shoot. Will this never end?
C-3PO worries enough for all of us. Okay, why are they bringing all the droids out?
All right, fine. Let's go.
Okay, I don't think they're working for these people. Obviously, I know that's Luke.
If he gets a translator, be sure it speaks Bocce.
Doesn't look like we have much of a choice, but I'll remind him.
Okay, so they are selling these droids, capturing droids and turning around and selling them for a profit.
Oh, not that one. Can you speak Bocce? Of course I can.
It's a weird job interview here.
Shut up, I'll take this. Shutting up. I want him cleaned up for dinner.
I mean, we don't want to make historical comparisons to what this looks like. Don't want to ruin the aesthetic of Star Wars. That's not the right one. Yeah, R2's not happy. Oh, they can just shut him off. Come on, even I. Okay, there you go. I was gonna say even I know that you can't separate C-3PO and R2. Now he woke back up.
That R2 unit is in prime condition. Now don't you forget this. Why I should stick my neck out.
C-3PO can't let him be split up.
Not unless you can alter time, speed up the harvest, or teleport me off this rock.
They have teleportation in Star Wars?
If there's a bright center to the universe, you're on the planet that it's farthest from. You can call me Luke.
I see, Sir Luke.
Okay, so it's the classic setup of like living in a small town dying to get out, except it's living on an obscure planet dying to get out.
Maze, we're in as good condition as we are. What with the rebellion and all?
You know the rebellion?
That's how we came to be in your service.
Were you on a Star Cruiser?
No. Oh, okay. So this is what Princess Leia was doing.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Okay, Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I get the sense Luke doesn't at this point. Or he does, and he also doesn't know who she is. So R2 is trying to keep it secret.
Is there any more to this recording?
He says that he is the property of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it's a private message for him.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I wonder if he means old Ben Kenobi.
It seems like quite a coincidence that you would have somebody with the name Kenobi, and it wouldn't be related somehow.
That if you remove the bolt, he might be able to play back the entire recording.
I guess you're too small to run away on me if I take this off.
I don't know. Don't underestimate R2.
Bring her back. Play back the entire message.
The one you're carrying inside your rusty innards.
Ooh, he's not going to play it.
No, I don't think he likes you at all. No, I don't like you either.
I'm going to have to look up who plays C-3PO, because he definitely carries that comedic duo.
He says he belongs to someone called Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, so there's a knowing look there.
It can have its memory erased. That'll be the end of it. It belongs to us.
That's pretty harsh, having its memory erased.
Your only concern is to prepare those new droids for tomorrow.
I know a little bit about where they went with some of this stuff later on. Not very much, just bits and pieces, but they are definitely hiding something.
I want to transmit my application to the Academy this year.
The Academy.
You can go to the Academy next year.
What Academy? I've heard of the Jedi Academy. Is that what he's talking about, or is there a different academy? I mean, obviously I know what Jedi.
Luke's just not a farmer, Owen. He has too much of his father in him.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Okay, so they very, I mean they would, but they very definitely know who his father is. I know this is an iconic moment for a lot of people in the music, which I apologize that I won't be able to play. That's be a definite issue on YouTube, but you know it's beautiful, and I know it's beautiful. It's some of John Williams' best work. You don't have to even know much about Star Wars to know that. So I apologize for talking through moments that I know you want to listen to. You'll have to go and watch them on your own.
Oh!
Oop.
What are you doing hiding back there?
It wasn't my fault, sir.
It's popped out of nowhere.
Kept babbling on about his mission.
Yeah, I guess they're going after him then.
That R2 unit has always been a problem.
You're the one who recommended him. I've heard that this is a place, like, I don't remember what country it's in, but this is a place that you can go stay at actually now. Where they filmed this still exists.
Hit the accelerator.
That's quite an effect for, I mean, I don't know what version again this is, but that's quite an effect for a movie in the late 70s. A gliding vehicle like that. Oh, these look like original animals from the original cut. They look physical.
We'll have no more of this Obi-Wan Kenobi gibberish.
What's wrong with him now?
He's pretty insistent on something.
Sand people.
Is that a rifle? If that's a rifle, that's a heck of a rifle.
They're sand people, all right. I can see one of them now.
I think you can see another one right now. Ooh. I don't know what that is, but it looks like it hurts. And he's apparently calling for others. Luke is in trouble. How did R2 even get in there? Whoa, that sounds like pretty incredible distress. Okay, I thought this was one of them, but I don't think it is now, actually. Too big. Oh, human hand. Alright.
Hello there.
I know that's Obi-Wan.
He'll be alright.
I should hope so. We have a whole franchise coming up.
Ben Kenobi?
I didn't think he had met him.
Claims to be the property of an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is he a relative of yours?
No, no relation at all. Especially with that look on his face.
Oh, he's not dead.
He's closer than you might think.
You know him?
Well, of course I know him. He's me.
Okay, so we reveal it pretty quick. So he's just been hanging out in the cave all this time.
3PO.
Yeah, where does he 3? Oh, that doesn't look good.
Where am I? I must have taken a bad step.
It seems like more than a bad step based on the damage. I just took a step off a cliff.
No, my father didn't fight in the wars.
That's what your uncle told you. I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
I know some of the twists here, obviously, but it's interesting to hear what's revealed in the actual course of the movie. For instance, Clone Wars actually being something that was part of the original movies, at least as a reference.
Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody who doesn't know the main twist of this original trilogy.
Not as clumsy or random as a blaster.
Ooh, that was an interesting cut. I do wonder how they created this effect back then. Obviously, it's a lot easier to do something like that nowadays, but...
How did my father die?
Complicated question.
A young Jedi named Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil.
Obi-Wan, he's giving a very strategic retelling of this.
Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
The Force?
What gives a Jedi his power?
It's like an aura.
Binds the galaxy together.
So is believing in the Force almost like believing in a religion, kind of?
General Kenobi, afraid my mission to bring you to Alderaan has failed. This is our most desperate hour.
All right.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Which is a very iconic line even I know. So she is part of the rebellion, and she's not counting on necessarily making it out of there. So she's trying to pass the information on to help the rebellion, even if she doesn't make it.
You must learn the ways of the Force if you're to come with me to Alderaan.
He immediately draws him into this adventure that he said his uncle would probably be afraid of him going on.
I'm getting too old for this sort of thing.
He knows Luke wants to leave.
I can't get involved. I've got work to do.
I can't get involved in this adventure that I definitely want to go on because I have chores to do.
I can take you as far as Anchorhead.
You must do what you feel is right, of course.
This is one thing I don't know for sure. Has Obi-Wan just been waiting for him all this time? Or did this just happen to occur this way?
The Emperor has dissolved the Council permanently. The last remnants of the old Republic have been swept away.
Okay, so they have a complete dictatorship now?
Fear will keep the local systems in line. Fear of this battle station.
Any attack made by the rebels against this station would be a useless gesture.
I feel like they're telegraphing too much what's going to happen. I remember a little bit of it, but like it feels a little bit like Titanic, where they're like spend a lot of time talking about how unsinkable it is and how strong it is, and then it sinks.
Are giving you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort?
Yeah, I think you're finding out it's a little more than mysticism.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Okay, so it is like a religious order kind of thing, you know, what they consider mysticism.
We will then crush the rebellion with one swift stroke.
I guess mysticism has gone with authoritarians in the past, so it's not completely unusual to see.
Looks like the Sand People did this all right.
They didn't, but we are meant to think they did.
Okay.
These are the same Jawas that sold us R2 and 3PO.
Jawas. I thought that was what I thought they were called.
Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise.
If they traced the robots here, they may have learned who they sold them to.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
Oh, wait, Luke!
I remember now they were tracking the escape pod. I feel like this might, I was going to say it might not be good news for his aunt and uncle.
Owen! And Rue!
Yeah, oh, that's... Wow. That's pretty graphic, and that's to find your family like that. He took it a little better than I expected. Usually if you found the charred remains of your aunt and uncle like that, you'd probably be a bit more upset.
And now, Your Highness, we will discuss the location of your hidden rebel base.
He apparently is not entertaining for a moment that she's not a member of the rebels, but he probably thinks everybody's a rebel. It is odd to see this very futuristic looking thing and for it to have what we recognize as a common syringe attached to it. So Luke has nothing tying him here anymore. His home's destroyed and his family's dead.
There's nothing you could have done, Luke. You'd have been killed, too.
I want to come with you to Alderaan.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't really have a reason not to.
To the Force and become a Jedi like my father.
But what was the academy that he was talking about going to join? Yeah, I mean...
You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Scum and villainy. Just to have wide shots like that of one of these, kind of space-like city type things that part of Star Wars. Just the scope of a shot like that, I don't think it's something you saw very often in sci-fi before this. Everything is just so much more massive in scale. I do know that some of these are obviously CG characters that have been added in later editions. Is there an original edition that has no CG added to it? And would you recommend I watch it? Is it worth? Let me know in the comments.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
I remember that part, but did he mesmerize all of them? Or did the Jedi mind trick thing on all of them? And also just the fact that it just is with this little motion. It's kind of funny.
I can't understand how we got by those troops.
The Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded.
His first lesson of the Force. Pick out the CG. That was definitely CG.
This place can be a little rough.
I'm ready for anything.
Oh yeah, you're a farm boy, Luke. You're ready for anything. I know Luke becomes someone very different, but at this point, I don't know. Yeah, I remember this scene, and I know who we're about to meet. I shouldn't say I remember everything about this scene. I don't. I remember this setting. Also, I know they did a theme bar called Scum and Villainy Cantina that's based off of this. Chewbacca. Everyone knows Chewbacca.
Hey, we don't serve their kind here.
The troubling comparisons to actual slavery just continue throughout this. The number of different creature effects they went to here just to make everything look so varied and lived in, that had to be one of the other things that set this apart from so many of its counterparts in sci-fi.
You just watch yourself. We wanted men. This little one's not worth the effort.
Apparently he's not quite weak-minded enough. Going up and telling someone how tough you are is not generally a sign that you're all that tough. You wouldn't see Obi-Wan going around bragging about how tough he is, but he can clearly handle himself.
Chewbacca here, first mate on a ship that might suit us.
So far, at least the parts with Luke and Obi-Wan here kind of take on the structure of a Western, pretty much. Like, especially this. This is like the old Western saloon type thing.
Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon.
And Han's going to help him with transport.
If it's a fast ship. You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon?
I know this line.
It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Though I don't know what a parsec is.
I've outrun Imperial starships.
I feel like they're going to test that out at some point.
What's the cargo?
Myself, the boy, to droid, and no questions.
Doesn't sound suspicious or anything.
We'd like to avoid any Imperial entanglements.
No, you just said he could outrun them.
Docking Bay 94.
They better get out of there before the stormtroopers get onto them. They slipped away.
You'll have to sell your speeder.
Tell Jabba that I've got his money.
So where was this guy? Was he waiting for him? This is a famous scene too, I know. Source of a lot of argument.
Yeah, Oscar.
Yes, I bet you have.
My donkey.
Ooh. I couldn't tell who shot first in that one. It looked like they shot at the same time, but Greedo missed. I know the argument is over who shot first, Han or Greedo. And it's an important question because it lends something to Han's character. Is he the type to shoot unprovoked or just in defense?
I don't know what all this trouble is about, but I'm sure it must be your fault. You watch your language.
That's funny. Having a droid that can speak in nothing but beeps and then implying that he's swearing at you. Yeah, I really feel like that's one of the assets of Star Wars. It's just how deep and rich they make these worlds feel. They have so many different, just the character design. They have so many different kinds of creatures, and the worlds feel so lived in. Yeah, that's quite definitely CG.
Right here, Jabba.
Am I remembering correctly in the original cuts, Jabba was just a guy?
Look, Jabba, next time you want to talk to me, come see me.
Yeah, that's one of the most obvious as far as being CG. So Han is the con man or the gambler that's in deep with the wrong people.
Even I get bored sometimes. You think I had a choice?
Yeah. So you take a lot of these classic movie tropes or these classic movie like structures and just basically put them in a sci-fi setting, a space setting that looks very otherworldly, and it makes it very unique.
Jabba, you're a wonderful human being.
Did you say you're a wonderful human being? I'm surprised they left that line in there. He is not a human being. Here's your host, Chewbacca, to welcome you to your flight. Cruise Director Chewbacca.
What a piece of junk.
To make 0.5 past light speed. She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid.
I don't think it looks like I mean, it looks lived in for sure, but I don't think it looks like a piece of junk. But what do I know about ships? Plus, even not knowing much about Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon's pretty iconic. Okay.
All right, men, load your weapon.
So this alien was a spy. Yeah, I'd get the heck out of there, Han.
Like an Imperial cruiser.
No, he's going to have to prove his claim about being able to outrun the Empire sooner than he thought he was. Yeah, I would imagine those could normally take a ship like his out pretty easily.
Why didn't you outrun him? I thought you said this thing was fast.
Watch your mouth, kid. You're going to find yourself floating home.
Luke calling him on his bullshit already. I thought it was later in the movie. I didn't know he's going to have to do it right away.
A few moments to get the coordinates from the Navi computer. Kitty at the rate they're gaining? Traveling through hyperspace ain't like dust and crops, boy.
Luke, let him do his work, maybe.
What's that flashing? We're losing a deflector shield. Both strap yourselves in. I'm gonna make a jump to light.
What an annoying kid pointing at everything when you're trying to avoid getting killed by the Empire. Now that's a cool effect. Even still, that's a cool light speed effect. I know that a lot of people have used it since, but
We've entered the Alderaan system.
Governor Tuck, I should have expected to find you holding Vader's leash.
I don't think Vader's on anyone's leash, except, I guess, the Emperor. Was she speaking that properly before? I mean, it's supposed to speak to her high station, I'm sure, but...
Princess Leia, before your execution, I have chosen to test this station's destructive power on your home planet of Alderaan.
That's quite a way to twist her arm.
You will prefer another target?
And also the idea that you would just start destroying random planets.
I grow tired of asking this.
I didn't pick up that drama before, that he was literally threatening to destroy her homeworld.
They're on Dantooine.
You see, Lord Vader?
Then he does it anyway.
You may fire when ready.
What?
I've seen that what she just did as a meme before. Wow. Talk about space Nazis. That's a bit more than genocide. And to watch your home planet completely destroyed in front of you.
Felt a great disturbance in the Force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced.
Well, at least he's having a reaction. That's what I was about to say. If there's anything I could criticize in here about the acting performances, and I'm sure they're doing what they were directed to do, Mark Hamill's an amazing actor, so was Carrie Fisher. But when he finds his family burnt to a crisp, basically, and when she just watched her entire home planet be destroyed in front of her very eyes, it feels like the emotional reaction should have been a bit more extreme. Not like linger on it for a real long time, but that's a bit more traumatic than what their reaction would indicate.
Pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known to do that.
I suggest a new strategy, R2. Let the Wookiee win.
I've heard that one before, too. There's so many references. Let the Wookiee win.
Remember, a Jedi can feel the Force flowing through him.
You mean he controls your actions?
It also obeys your commands.
Ooh, I don't think he commanded it to do that. How do people who don't believe in this see it? It's like some kind of religious sect of samurais or something? Or knights?
This time, let go your conscious self and act on...
You see comparisons to, like, martial arts training or samurai training, like at least what you see in movies. Like, how many martial arts movies have you seen where they blindfold somebody and tell them to use their other senses to fight?
See? You can do it.
I call it luck.
You looked a little more impressed than Luck, huh?
You've taken your first step into a larger world.
Haven't we all, Obi-Wan? Haven't we all?
What's going on? Our position's correct, except no Alderaan.
It's gotten blown up and you're flying through the debris.
There's another ship coming in.
It's an Imperial fighter. No, it's a short-range fighter.
Obi-Wan just knows all this stuff because he's tapped into the Force. It's kind of like being telepathic.
Look at him, he's heading for that small moon.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's too big to be a space station.
So this was the kind of massive and impressive nature of this, is that the Death Star was a bigger ship than any of them had ever seen. Makes sense.
Why are we still moving towards it?
We're caught in a trap coming that's pulling us in.
They're not going to get me without a fight.
Wow. Yeah, look at the scale of that in relation to the size of their ship. Imagine just even the concept of trying to build a ship the size of a planet, or even just a moon.
They must be trying to return the stolen plans to the princess.
I do notice at this time I'm following the actual beats of the story more, and I'm more invested in the plot of what's going on. I don't know how much I was paying attention to that the last time around.
There's no one on board, sir.
Did you find any droids?
No, sir.
I sense something. Presence I've not felt since...
They leave that question. That is one of the things they've wrecked, is that was supposed to be a big twist in this trilogy. It was when it originally came out. Pretty much everybody has heard that Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Hey down there! Give us a hand with this!
I love how that didn't raise any alarms. Someone fired.
We've got a bad transmitter.
It's a good plan. I was going to say, you better get them before they're able to call out.
Between his howling and your blasting everything inside, so one of the whole station doesn't know we're here.
It's a good point, Luke. Stealth is not necessarily their strong suit.
He says he's found the main controls to the power beam that's holding the ship here.
All right, making progress.
A power loss at one of the terminals will allow the ship to leave.
Let's go along. Your other star systems will suffer the same fate as Alderaan.
R.I.P. Alderaan. I don't know if I'd heard that one before.
The Force will be with you, always.
That was ominous. I remember something that happens, but I don't remember when it happens. And I don't know if this is it.
Where did you dig up that old fossil? Ben is a great man.
Luke has started to revere Ben quite a bit pretty quickly.
He says I found her and keeps repeating she's here. Who has he found? Princess Leia.
She's here? Princess.
So they all know who Princess Leia is. Or, well, Luke does. Oh, well, Obi-Wan told him.
We've got to do something.
I'm not going anywhere.
But they're gonna kill her!
Better her than me.
It is definitely a departure as somebody who mainly knows Harrison Ford at this age from Indiana Jones, to see somebody who is that kind of anti-heroic.
Great, powerful. And if you were to rescue her, the reward would be...
What?
Indy would never have left someone there to die like that.
You'll get it.
I better.
You will.
You better be right about this.
But, can't play the same character all the time.
I'm gonna put these on you.
Yeah, you might want to be careful.
Lock the door.
And hope they don't have blasters.
That isn't very reassuring.
It is not. It's not much of a plan. This is a smart idea, though. Stormtroopers taking a prisoner. That was funny. Little moments like that, providing little comedy.
Prisoner transfer from cell block 1138.
I wasn't notified.
Look out, he's loose!
Give Chewie the gun. What are the things they're shooting on the walls? Are they cameras? Oh, maybe they were defenses like guns.
You go and get her. I'll hold him here.
Everything's under control. Situation normal.
Not suspicious at all.
How are you?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
For a con man, Han is not real great at BSing. Sounded too nervous, said too much. Yeah, you might want to let her know you're not a stormtrooper.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. I've got your R2 unit. I'm here with Ben Kenobi.
Ben Kenobi?
So she knew the name Ben.
A tremor in the Force. The last time I felt it was in the presence of my old master.
It is interesting how they're dancing around that the terms they're choosing to use because they don't want to reveal it yet.
Emergency alert in detention block AA-23.
Princess, put all sections on alert.
Obi-Wan is here.
He must not be allowed to escape.
I must face him alone.
So the Force, or the people that are part of the dark side of the Jedi, it's part of this almost religious sect, but also there are people who don't believe it, and there are people who kind of believe it because they've seen some of the power of it, but they're not part of it necessarily. At least that's what I'm understanding. Tell me if I have that right, please.
Watch your left.
Every interaction, stormtroopers die. Now they're just such terrible shots.
Your Highness.
Ooh, might not want to stay there.
Open up in there. Open up in there.
Every time they say, what if this happens? Like the thing they're afraid is going to happen, it happens.
Can't hold off forever.
This is on rescue.
Yeah. Don't underestimate Princess Leia. She's a resistance fighter.
Get in there, you big furry.
Do they ever show how Han and Chewie meet? I know they made a Solo movie. Do they actually show how they meet in that movie? Because I'd be interested to see that. That just looks like a bunch of foam.
It's a really wonderful idea.
Oh, it's better than being shot to death.
No, wait.
Yeah, I'm going to say, doesn't seem like a good idea.
Put that thing away, you're gonna get us all killed!
Look, I had everything under control till you let us down here.
No, you didn't. You were pinned down and you were going to die. You're going to get shot to death.
There's something alive in here.
That's your imagination.
I don't believe it's his imagination. You hear something.
Look.
Gonna need to find a way out of here pretty quick. That's not creepy or anything. Apparently they didn't see that. Oh. That's deeper than I thought it was. Yeah, this is unexpected. So there's only one spot that's deep that's pulling him down. You had him up and pulled right back in again. Saving him is one thing. Whatever it is can come after all of you, too. He's been down there a while.
Help him! What happened?
Let go of me, it disappeared.
Something scared it away? Well, they're obviously in a garbage trash storage facility of some kind. So I guess it's a trash compactor. That thing gets out of there so it doesn't get crushed.
Help me!
Oddly, we found ourselves in a very similar position to this in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Harrison Ford just can't stay out of situations where walls want to crush it, or ceilings.
Come in, 3PO!
3PO!
Alright, so are they hiding?
They're mad. If you hurry, you might catch them.
Follow me.
Stormtroopers aren't terribly bright, are they?
Use the comm link. Oh my, I forgot. I turned it off.
Yeah, well, maybe turn it back on before your friends die.
Are you there, sir?
3PO! Shut down all the garbage bashes on the detention level!
Come on, R2. It's getting pretty desperate. Is he hiding? Oh no, that's what he's there to shut down. It just has the benefit of also hiding him from the stormtroopers that just walked by.
Just avoid any more female advice. We got to be able to get out of here.
Oh, space sexism. Not going with you on that one, Han.
No, wait till here! From now on, you do as I tell you, okay?
Yeah, really. She definitely seems to have more sense than you do, Han.
I take orders from just one person, me.
So wonder he's still alive.
I agree. They kind of made him excessively, well, I'm not going to say dumb, but like, Han should be smarter than this. He's supposed to basically be like a, I don't want to say a space outlaw, but like a space, like, you know, con man or something like that. You know, somebody who's survived a lot of shady situations. I guess he's barely survived them.
There she is.
C-3PO, do you copy?
Yes, sir.
Are you safe?
For the moment.
We're in the main hangar across from the ship.
So they're all getting close to the ship.
You came in that thing? You're braver than I thought.
Everyone badmouths the Millennium Falcon.
Get back to the...
Certainly has courage.
Good will it do us if he gets himself killed.
Why are they running? He's one guy. Yeah. That's even worse, Han. Get the hell out of there. Imagine this whole space station full of stormtroopers. Yikes. He's lucky that stormtroopers are such lousy shots.
Good luck.
Well, worked out. Apparently that kiss for luck worked. Yeah, here we go. I thought this was when this happened.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan.
So people watching this for the first time would have obviously had no idea of the actual history of these two characters. I've heard people talk about watching the movies in actual episode order. That would destroy a lot of that for people who didn't know it already. You would already know all the backstory.
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
It shows that there are still a lot of things Darth doesn't understand about the Force.
Look.
Are they going to help or going to watch? So his battle provides a distraction. Luke, I understand, but that's probably not the best idea right now. He knows they'll get away. Wow. No! So he allowed himself to be Luke, well, at least he had an emotional reaction that time.
Luke, come on! Come on!
Luke, I understand you're angry. Get on the ship. You have no cover.
Run, Luke, run!
So they almost had to put that in as reassurance. You hear his voice. You know he's still alive in some way. And that coupled with what he said to Darth, the first sense that death is not necessarily the end for Jedi.
Can't believe he's gone.
This is the kind of emotional reaction I was looking for before.
There wasn't anything you could have done.
Come on, buddy, we're not out of this yet.
I mean, I know Leia's a soldier, but her entire home planet was blown up in front of her, and she barely reacted.
In, kid? Okay, stay sure.
I was going to say, does Luke have any experience as a gunner? Or just desperate times they don't have any choice, maybe? He seemed to know what he was doing. Nice shot.
I got him! Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Luke's like, I actually hit one. I mean, it does seem like their enemies are just inherently bad at hitting anything. There you go. Well, if Luke doesn't have any training as a gunner, he's doing pretty well.
That's it! We did it!
We did it!
Help! I think I'm
C-3PO.
You're sure the homing beacon is secure aboard their ship?
I was going to say, they have to have some kind of tracker or something.
Look, I'm in it for the money.
Your friend is quite a mercenary. I wonder if he really cares about anything or anybody.
People can change. Everyone needs a character arc. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If Leia knows they're tracking them, they either need to find a way to destroy the tracker, or why would she just lead them directly to this rebel base?
We have no time for SR's commander. You must use the information in this R2 unit to help plan the attack. It's our only hope.
Okay, so they're trying to plan their attack before the Empire shows up from the homing beacon? Or maybe she doesn't know for sure they're being tracked? I don't think she'd risk it. Yeah, they're closing in pretty quick.
The battle station is heavily shielded and carries a firepower greater than half the Starfleet.
Does seem to be predominantly men in Star Wars, doesn't it?
A small one-man fighter should be able to penetrate the outer defense. The target area is only 2 meters wide. It's a small thermal exhaust port.
So, is it meant to be that the Empire is destroyed by its own hubris? That they feel like they're so untouchable they don't have to guard against certain things like that? Because, like, oh, that would never happen. Then, of course, that's the thing that happens.
The moon with the rebel base will be in range in 30 minutes.
Now, you guys better abandon that base quick before they get to you.
It has seen the end of Kenobi and will soon see the end of the rebellion.
I find it odd that Vader doesn't understand. They probably, well, again, hubris. Has no clue that they know he's coming.
You got your reward and you're just leaving then?
That's right, yeah.
You know what's about to happen, what they're up against?
His whole thing is to get Han to start to actually care about something.
Well, take care of yourself, Han. I guess that's what you're best at, isn't it?
He's disappointed.
Hey, Luke, may the Force be with you.
That might be a little harsh in that moment. That a reminder that Obi-Wan Kenobi died, despite the Force. Hitting him in a way like, believe your ridiculous Force religion.
We'll hear all your stories when we get back, all right?
We like old times, Luke. They'll never stop us.
Well, why do I get the feeling that Biggs isn't going to make it back?
R2 Unity's a bit beat up. On your one? Not on your life. You okay, R2?
It's harder than that to keep a good R2-D2 down.
Hang on tight, R2. You've got to come back.
C-3PO admitting how much he cares about him.
Luke, the Force will be with you.
But at this point, we still don't know exactly what's going on with Obi-Wan. We just know he keeps hearing him. I wonder if there were people who thought Luke was losing his mind.
Death Star approaching. Estimated time to firing range, 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you have a squadron of ships, but it does seem a little hopeless approaching an Empire ship that's the size of a planet.
I'm gonna cut across the axis and try and draw their fire.
That's the other thing, though, too, is they can't give away their intended target so easy. Or they'll find a way to defend it before they can get to it.
Red 5, I'm going in.
I guess they said Luke's a pilot. Maybe that's why he had some experience as a gunner on the ship when they were under attack.
They're so small, they're evading our turbo lasers.
Turbo lasers.
Going in. Cover me, Porkins.
I've heard that name before, Porkins.
I can hold it.
No.
Pull up! No, I'm all right.
R.I.P. Porkins.
Luke, trust your feelings.
Luke doesn't even know if he's losing his mind at this point.
Enemy fighters coming your way.
I don't see anything.
Here they come.
No, I see something. Yeah, they seem serious, Luke. This is where I'm going to get lost, too. I don't know the names of the ships. Are those TIE fighters? Let me know. I know these are X-Wings that the Rebels are flying.
See what you can do with it.
He just extends the little arm to fix it.
I can't shake it.
Come on, Biggs. Or did Biggs go down already?
I'm on him, Luke.
Oh, no, he's still up.
Stay in attack form.
I didn't remember that. I didn't remember Vader getting into the fight.
Death Star will be in range in 5 minutes.
The guns, they've stopped.
That would be odd when your enemy suddenly decides to quit firing on you.
For enemy fighters.
Mark said 210.
I'll take them myself.
Vader doesn't want their stationary guns firing when he's going after him. Yikes. Yeah, you guys are in a trap.
Loosen up!
Yeah. Vader's sitting there just picking all of them off.
We've analyzed their attack, sir, and there is a danger.
I think you overestimate their chances.
I'm getting the sense that he should have listened.
Red Leader, this is Base 1.
Keep half your group out of range for the next run. Copy, Base 1.
Luke's just going to make a run at it, isn't he?
Start your run.
Oh, was Luke supposed to make the run to begin with, or is this him replacing the guys that got taken out? I didn't hear what they said.
This is it.
Ooh. Now, Luke doesn't appear to be in the trench yet.
Wait, coming in point 35.
I see them.
In range.
I wonder if Luke ends up being the one to run at it because there's no one left. Ooh.
Almost there.
I don't think you're going to be able to hold them off long enough. Okay, you got it. Made the shot, but
Negative. Didn't go in.
I think that leaves just Luke left. Now they're getting into firing range.
We're going in full throttle. Be just like Beggar's Canyon back home.
Okay, well, I don't know about Beggar's Canyon, but if Luke and Biggs know what they're doing.
Stay back far enough to cover you.
Are you sure the computer can hit it?
I don't think Luke's going to use the computer to hit it. Use the Force, Luke.
R2, that stabilizer's broken loose.
Yeah, R2, use your little arm. It's your job. Do ship repairs while we get fired upon.
Fire! Coming in, point 3.
It's the same fighters coming at him over and over again, with Vader in the lead.
I can't stay with you.
Let him go. Stay on the lead.
You can actually see Vader's eyes through there.
Hurry, Luke, they're coming in much faster.
They're really driving up the tension here. This music. Oh, I was worried Biggs wouldn't make it. Come on, Luke. You gotta get it. Literally, you're the hero of the movie.
Use the Force, Luke.
That's what I said. Well, to be fair, he said it first.
Let go.
Yeah, remembering when he covered his eyes before.
The Force is strong in this one.
He just said the Force is strong with this one. Can Vader already sense that Luke is using the Force?
You switched off your targeting computer. What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm all right.
I just thought I'd make this shot blindfolded, guys. Hope everyone's okay with that. Ooh. Hey,
I lost R2.
you don't shoot R2 and just get away with it.
Rebel base in range.
You may fire when ready.
You may fire when ready. I mean, at least sound like you're awake. Oh, I forgot that Han showed up. That makes sense. Han couldn't let Luke actually go to his death.
Clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing and go home.
Boom. 3 points. Yeah, get the hell out of there. You have a ship the size. Yeah, I was gonna say you have a ship the size of a planet that's gonna blow up. You don't want to be close. Seems like that guy should have taken the threat a little more seriously.
Force will be with you always.
Yeah, you can see his eyes through there. There you go. Han actually cared about something for once in his life. R2 needs a vacation. Nope, the award ceremony, or the medal ceremony, whatever they call it. From what I understand, they did this because they felt like they needed a specific ending. And to be fair, they didn't know they were going to do any more of these. You think about everything they did in this movie. This was really, really taking a swing at something they didn't know if they'd ever have a chance to revisit again. But look what it's become. Yeah. Surprised Luke doesn't look pissed. Han can't help but flirt with Leia. Hey, they got them all cleaned up. It was looking pretty rough for R2 there for a little bit. They got C-3PO polished up. Everyone had a shower. It was nice. That's what they should have done. They should have had Chewbacca get up there and make a speech. All right. Well, there we go, folks. First one in the bag. Do they have post-credit scenes? No, not in the original Star Wars back in '77. All right, let's go to the wrap-up. Well, that was actually really enjoyable. I want to make it clear, I never was trying to say that I didn't enjoy Star Wars. The other couple of times over many, many years that I had watched it before, I always came out of it having enjoyed it. I don't know if I ever paid as close attention to it as I did this time I watched it. Obviously, I can see why people love this. I commented on it many times throughout watching this movie, how impressed I was, especially for the time period, about the effects they were able to do and just the vast, really detailed and lived-in world they were able to create. But this time I feel like I actually kind of watched more closely and absorbed the story more, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say that I'm as crazy about it probably as some of the real hardcore fans are out there, but I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. I want to keep going as long as you're enjoying this out here. For these ones in particular, the reactions on something I have seen but haven't seen in a long time, more than the favorites ones that I did where I kind of go back and look at the ratings I gave them, I think this would probably be a little more relevant as far as ratings actually potentially changing. So I'm going to go back and look up the rating I previously gave to Star Wars Episode 4. Yikes. Well, it's probably going to make some people mad, but I'll probably make it better by the end. All right, so to go back and look real quick, the critics gave Star Wars Episode 4 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. The audience is giving it a 96%. And, okay, please don't kill me. I gave it 3.5 stars. I don't know when. Let's see if it says when. I don't know when I did that rating. It doesn't matter anyway. It's probably long after I originally saw it. I can almost guarantee you when I put that in, I didn't give it a fair shot. Kind of half watched it and be like, oh, that was kind of enjoyable. It's a little better than average. I'll give it 3.5. I would definitely say, and this is a great example of what I was talking about here, I would definitely say that the rating has gone up. Now, it doesn't necessarily seem like that big of a jump from 3.5 to 4. I don't know. Would I give this higher than a 4-star? I'm struggling because generally it's about how much I enjoyed it and did they achieve what they were trying to achieve. But I also feel like there's so much. Star Wars now spans such a broad period of time and so many different types of things that have been made in the Star Wars universe now. It's like if I go too high on this one, I don't really leave any higher to go in the following ones. But from what most people say, these are the best of at least the movies currently anyway. So I'm going to give Star Wars Episode 4 4 stars. It's not that big of an improvement. I did really enjoy it. I don't know if any of you out there watch my Lord of the Rings reactions. If you didn't, I invite you to go ahead and have a look at those too. But I'm kind of in the same place that I was when I got done watching Fellowship of the Ring. I watched the theatrical version. I gave it 4 stars. In that case, I was just kind of being introduced to that world for the first time and trying to get to know everything and learn everything, and it was a little overwhelming. For this, I've watched these technically before, but this time I'm really trying to pay attention. And so I'm still kind of being introduced to this world for the first time. And if I'm being honest, I feel like I'm at a 4. I feel like they definitely accomplished what they were trying to here. I think they accomplished probably more than they were trying to here. I don't know what they had hoped for when they made this movie, but obviously it's gone on to be probably far bigger than they ever expected it to be. And as far as how much I enjoyed it, I'm definitely over mid-level, meaning I did really enjoy it. Is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? For me, probably not, but I still really enjoyed it. Now, I can completely understand and respect. There are people out there, again, this is 5 stars. 5 stars all day long, twice on Sunday. But this is my rating. Again, as I said on the Lord of the Rings one. For me, here, today, it's going to be 4 stars. Maybe on another viewing, that would change. And also, who knows what's to come as far as the rest of the Star Wars movies. So, I do think we have a good start here. We have a lot of movies to cover in front of us eventually. If we continue on, I'm just going to go ahead and start with the first trilogy here and see how it goes. But let me know what you think. Let me know what's your rating on the first Star Wars movie. Which of the Star Wars movies are your favorites? Is anybody going to defend the prequels? Is anyone going to defend the sequel trilogy? Is anyone going to take like a really odd stance defending Solo? Please let me know. I would be very interested to hear. And I really appreciate you being here with me for this. I'm really looking forward to continuing on with these. If you'd be so kind, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down there. Hit the bell so you can see when I put out new videos. And I'm looking forward to doing another one of these soon. See you then. Take care.